What's up guys, I just want to throw this in here quick before we start the video. If there was ever a time that you wanted to support the channel or you want to grab some merch, now would be the best time. You guys can get hoodies like this one. The link is down below. We've got multiple different hoodies, multiple different t-shirts, and super thick, warm hoodies. I know it's winter time. I just want to say that. I don't plug our merch too often, but as you guys can see, as you guys know, we do got a project going that is funded fully by the YouTube channel and the merch and the views and sponsors, etc., etc. So I just want to say, if there was ever a time that you were thinking about supporting us, go down below in the link in the description, or just go on teespring.com/Blownbudgetoffroad and grab yourself some shirts, hoodies. All the proceeds will go into building this rig, and we definitely need some money to fund the build on this thing. You know, we can't just have a stock side-by-side with the crew. You know, it's gotta be sounding right. It's gotta be looking nasty. And it's gotta have some essential upgrades. You know, we do need some upgrades. We do want to leave it in somewhat stock form and give it the beat down and see what happens, but there is some things that we definitely need to upgrade for safety and things like that. So just wanted to throw this in here. I know I'm ranting already, but if you can't afford some merch, best way to show your support is subscribe if you're not already. Hit that like button on every video that comes out. It helps the channel grow more than you would know. It's more than I would know. So just wanted to throw this in here. Thanks for your guys' support. Thanks for watching these videos. If you can't do anything else, just keep watching the videos, and that helps immensely. We wouldn't be doing this stuff without you guys. So just want to throw this in here. Enjoy the video and find out why we chose a Talon. All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's have a little talk. First, I want to say, if you guys aren't down for just having a little bit of a discussion, then this probably isn't the video for you. But I have seen quite a few comments asking why we chose a Talon. I told you guys I was going to make this video. I know a lot of you guys are curious why we chose a Talon as a group effort. And so basically, just want to jump on here and throw together some key points on why we chose it, and kind of just be clear with you guys on the whole build and the whole process, etc., etc. So first thing, number one, most important reason why, it's got a rev limiter. You know, we had to bring club limiter back.
Seems okay.
Reason number one why we bought a Honda Talon.
All the reasons why we bought the Honda Talon. Club limiter, baby.
Hang on. So if you guys aren't here from the beginning, you know, we all three had YXZs. And what other machine can you be banging limiter, climbing a hill, wild, out of control, sounds good, just entertaining content, I guess you'd call it, as well as it's just fun for us also. So we all had YXZs, and it's kind of the closest way to go back to our roots in a way, without getting another YXZ. So like I've just said, we all had those. Really no reason to get another one. We went down that road, pretty much did, you know, what we would want to do to a YXZ. Thought it was a great car. Just kind of wanted to move on and move forward, you know, try different rigs, etc. So we all have been curious about the Honda Talon since it came out. Nobody from our group really wanted to buy a Honda Talon, knowing that there was no aftermarket support. We were very on the fence on the whole front diff situation and how that works. Still am. We hear people say that it's good and that they like it and the i4 drive's great, and we hear the complete opposite, that it sucks, put a locker in it, it's terrible. So that's kind of besides the point. But for one of us to pick, you know, this rig for our primary machine and spend around $20,000, we'll call it. That's what I paid for my Can-am, roughly. You know, give or take a few thousand here or there. Give or take a few thousand here or there for a used Talon or a new Talon at the time. You know, whatever. Nobody wanted to go out on a limb and get an underpowered rig that didn't have a locker at the time, didn't have aftermarket support at the time, and it's basically very comparable to the YXZ in our opinion, except it has low range, which is obviously huge for what we do. So anyways, there's not many people out there on YouTube that are rock crawling, hill killing, doing that kind of stuff that we do with our machines and that we film for you guys, doing that with a Talon. So we thought it would be probably a big reason why we wanted to get one was we wanted to be those people. You know, we wanted to go down that avenue, try it out, see how it does. I figured it would make a whole nother element to the channel of, you know, you guys are, I know a lot of people are curious as well to see how the Talon will hold up in that realm. So we're excited to get it back together, get it out on the trail, start beating it down, see how it does, basically. All right, so now let's talk about the Pro R. I know you guys really wanted us to get a Pro R. People are saying, oh, you should have bought a Pro R. We understand that from a channel perspective, I should say, that would be the best move. But I really did not want to get a loan for a machine with the channel. And as well as that may have grown the channel a huge amount, I wanted to buy something with cash that was paid for with the channel. So that way, if something ever happened and I decided to stop making videos, you know, life got too hectic, work got too hectic, etc., I didn't have time to do this anymore. I'm not stuck with a side-by-side payment. You know, I already have my X3. I don't need two. So I didn't want to back myself into a corner and be stuck with something. Side-by-sides are not a great financial investment. Like they basically lose money the whole way through. So it's like buying a new Pro R, you know, a year down the road, I'm going to just lose a bunch of money on it. And hopefully, just bottom line, I want to buy something cash paid off with the channel money. That way I could open the door to my shop and see a Talon sitting here, or go to Billy's if it's there, go to Josh's if it's there, you know, like a physical object that was paid for by making YouTube videos. And aside from a side-by-side, we couldn't really think of anything better to spend the money on. Basically, we could have paid for fuel and trips. We could have paid for cabins and hotels and things like that, or parts on our personal rigs. But it was like, we could pay for all that stuff on our own pocket. Like, kind of wanted to save the YouTube money and buy something such as a side-by-side that was like, dang, you know, making just like a symbol for all the hard work I put into this channel. It's basically a whole nother rig. Like, that's sick. So in a gist, that's why we didn't choose a Pro R. I do agree that that would have been the best move to grow the channel. I understand that. But like I've been saying, I wanted to buy something with cash. So moving forward, why not a cheap tube chassis rig? I've seen a lot of comments saying that we should get tube chassis. I know a lot of people are talking about tube chassis. I know that's the thing, the way to go. Like, that's the move. A lot of people are doing it. I don't know. I mean, I guess personally, my opinion, I know Josh's opinion, is we treat our personal rigs like tube chassis anyways. I mean, when you boil it all down, it is a tube chassis, you know. Mind-blowing, I know. So it's like, I don't know. My chassis is fine. What do I need a tube chassis for? I know it's safer, but I mean, I've rolled my rig a bunch of times, and it's still straight. It's still mint. It's like, I drive the thing like a tube chassis to begin with. What do I need another one for? Like, I don't know. It's like, unless you're going to put a Talon driveline in a tube chassis or something like that, like, maybe, but I don't see the point in a tube chassis. And I'll say the number one reason why we're steering clear from tube chassis, at least for the channel machine, is we want to relate to you guys. So I feel like growth for YouTube purposes is big to be relatable, and there's not that many people running tube chassis, and if they are, they're probably not watching us. I mean, they're probably racing and they're above us anyways. So it's like, I know the general public is riding side-by-sides that you can go buy and do aftermarket support that you can do, and that's kind of the avenue that we try to go with this. So whether or not that makes sense to you or not, I don't know, but I do know that everybody thinks that we should have tube chassis for the riding that we're doing. That's just kind of our standpoint on it, I guess, in a short term, why we wouldn't do this. Also, on the tube chassis discussion, you know, we've got 14.5, 14.8 into this. That's all the money we had from the channel. So could you buy a tube chassis, like a turnkey tube chassis, for that much money? I don't think so. I mean, and if they are, they're like an XP1000 type tube chassis. There are some great deals out there for a little under 20, like a turboed one, a turboed RZR or whatever, but I don't know. Just if we were getting a tube chassis, it wouldn't be an XP1000 tube chassis, if that makes any sense. And also, what are we going to do different with a tube chassis? I mean, it's basically going to be the same content. You'd be buying one that's already built, so you wouldn't get any content from building the tube chassis. because we didn't have the funds to build one from scratch, as that would be a rad project on the channel. Kind of. I don't know how much it would relate to you guys, so that's where it's kind of like a weird fine line on making relatable content. So that's the tube chassis discussion. Why not a KRX? I know a lot of you guys comment that we should get a KRX. It's the style of riding that we do. They're great rock crawlers, etc., etc. I do think it's a great machine. I do want to make a whole video talking about the KRX with the guys. We've got Mike on the channel. We love Mike. He's a great friend. And we like riding with him. And basically, it wouldn't gain the channel anything, you know? And it wouldn't really be another avenue for any of us. It's another put it in high or low belt driven machine and you just go rock crawl or try and hit the hills. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not much different than what we've already got. It's an underpowered version of a RZR or X3, in my opinion. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are probably not gonna like to hear that, but like that's how I feel about it. I do feel like it's a great stock form machine. It's stout, it's strong, it's got good gearing. Like, I do like it. I'm just saying, we wanted something different. So this is a group machine, you know, like any one of us can wheel this thing. So it's different, you know, it's a paddle shift, wide open, manual, shifting the gears, hitting limiter, having fun, different machine. It's a different experience. That's kind of where the standpoint came from. And it brings us back to our roots of the YXZ days. All right, so why not X3 or RZR? We've already got those. I mean, basically, no need to say more. We don't need two X3s. We don't need another Razor, you know, like we wanted something different. Another big reason, I was trying to think of something that I could buy with the channel money that would also not only be a physical possession like a machine, but also something that would help the channel grow and continue growth, make good content, and make easy content, I guess I would call it. We talked about the Pro R. I think that would be great, but didn't have the money, too much money at this time anyways for the size of our channel. And basically, this was in our budget, and it was the next best thing I could think that would help the channel grow, basically. Aside from getting out and riding and making videos, that's clearly the best way to keep growing. I thought this was the best thing to spend the money on to grow the channel. Why we chose so this is kind of a different segment of the video. Why would we buy a wrecked rig? I'll say for the style of riding we do, I mean, stuff gets bent and we treat them hard. They get beat up. So it sucks doing that to a new rig. Once the Band-Aid's kind of ripped off and it takes its first tumble or it's beat up across the rocks and stuff, it's a lot more fun when you don't really care. I mean, it's all fixable. Like in the grand scheme of things, the chassis on my X3 is fine. If I put whatever plastics are broke, if I put new plastics on it and put a wrap on it, the thing would be brand new looking. You know what I mean? It's like, we ride them hard, we thrash them, but in reality, they're just some plastics and a wrap, or just a wrap for some of them away from being fresh. You know what I mean? Like appearing. We do maintain them. They're in great shape mechanically, clearly, to handle the way we ride. Like they're built rigs. You know what I mean? Basically, that's why we would chose a totaled one, because we wouldn't feel as guilty doing it, as well as, like I've said, we only had a set amount of money to spend. And I could have kept saving, but I was ready to spend the money. I had the money, had a fire in my pocket ready to blow the money. And honestly, I've been kind of saving up for this for like the past year. I've had this idea of buying a totaled rig. I just didn't really know what they went for. And unfortunately, they go for quite a bit, as you guys seen. So I was hoping to get one for around the $10,000 mark, but I mean, you'd have one that was crinkled up like a tin can and just unsavable for that amount of money, unfortunately. So yeah, I had to save a little bit longer, and I was just ready to move. I was ready to make a move, and I think it's gonna be good for the channel. It'll add another aspect to film. It gets us out in the shop working on stuff, which I love doing, and it gets more videos made on this thing. Gets the three of us back together, making videos, I hope. And even when we're done with this, you know, we're gonna have aftermarket parts. We want to build it, and it's gonna create content, which is ultimately great for the channel growth. As well as when we're done, it's gonna give us another reason to go to our more local parks, like the Cliffs and the Badlands, and try this thing out and compare it to our rigs, and just another reason to ride more local instead, where we've done all the trails in our X3s and RZRs to where it's like, what's the point? We'll just wait for the next big trip to go ride. So where we don't do the little ones in between the big ones anymore, really, because it's like, we've been there so many times, you know, I don't know. At this point, it'll give us a whole nother reason to go ride, even between our other rides. That being said, I also thought it would just be cool to rebuild the channel on the machine. So back to the totaled, why totaled. I haven't seen too many videos out there on like people buying an auction totaled rig, rebuilding it, showing the process. And I mean, I was always curious on it. I think a lot of you guys were. So I thought it would be a really cool kind of build series to explain and show you guys the process. So I think I've kind of talked about every direction that we thought about going with the money. I do want to say that if this channel ever blows up and if this channel keeps growing, I just want to lay it out for you guys. We don't want to just build the same machine over and over again. That's why we didn't get another RZR or another X3. If this channel ever blew up and grew into something huge, it would be rad to build a specific machine for mudding, specific machine to relate to that audience. Not just mudding. Like that was just, I know there's a big community behind like the bounty hole stuff. Like it'd be cool to build something specific for that. It'd be cool to build a tube chassis rock bouncer, go compete in some hill killing stuff down south. Like that would be so rad to do with this channel and film and document the whole series on prepping machines. It would be awesome to build a car for KOH, or you know, modify one of the cars we've already got for KOH and make a whole document series on racing King of Hammers with the UTV. I mean, I have high hopes for that kind of stuff, or dreams, I guess maybe I'd call it. But it would also be sweet to do a whole nother avenue behind like sand dunes. We've never messed with sand dunes before. I know there's a big audience behind that and community behind sand dunes. You know, we don't really like do that. That's not what our passion is. Our passion is rock crawling and wheeling. So obviously, primarily the rigs would be that. But if this grew into something that, you know, was our primary focus, we would go down all the different avenues to make different styles of content. Like I just feel like that would be so cool. And build a wheelie car, a jump car, you know, etc. Whatever. If that ever happened, I just want to let you guys know, like, that is the far goal or the dreams of this channel. It's clearly not a short-term goal. It's more of a very long-term goal. But I just felt like it'd be cool to share that with you guys. And I think the last thing I had just off the top of my mind, I've got a lot of ideas, but another one that would be cool would be like a slammed side-by-side on 27s or 30s or whatever, turboed like a short course car and do some like short course racing or like the fair race stuff. And I mean, it would just be rad to do all different elements and kind of see and film and show you guys and bring you guys along with the journey. But anyways, enough rambling here. I know you guys are probably bored. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. If you're new here by chance and you're still watching, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us grow, helps us shoot towards those long-term goals and dreams that we were just talking about. And I hope you guys like the content, and I hope you guys are excited to see what we're up against with this build, and see what route we're taking with the aftermarket parts. And excited to see this thing getting beat down, banging limiter on the trails. See you guys on the next one.